Thanks for checking out the channel, everybody. Here's a simple, easy way to make butter. All you're going to need is a large mason jar and some heavy whipping cream. Starting off, the only thing that I forgot to mention is you're going to need a cheesecloth or a rag to when you drain the butter. Other than that, just make sure your cream is somewhat warm, not warm, but room temperature. Let it set out for like an hour before you do it. If it's cold, it'll be really hard to do. Literally all you do is get the cream and you fill up the jar. 1 quart of heavy whipping cream makes about a pound of butter, depending on the brand. And if you wanted to make more, you could fill this up more. You just need it to, you need to have room to shake it. Put on the lid, make sure it's tight. You know, you need a little bit of room in there, and this is all you're going to do. Is you're going to shake the heck out of it, back and forth, back and forth. And it takes a little bit. The colder it is, the longer it takes. The warmer it is, the quicker it goes. And you just keep shaking. Shake and shake and shake it. And this is going to take a little bit. Side note, if you have any kids, if you want to try to get them to shake it for you, it's a good idea. Or if they ever get in trouble, you can always use it as punishment. You are kids, aren't you? You're a kid. When you're shaking it, be sure to get that in there where it can push everything back and forth and squeeze it together. What you're doing is you're separating the cream from the butter. The harder you do it, you can hear it in there starting to form together. It's going to feel like you're not doing anything. It's going to feel like you're not getting anywhere with it and it's not coming together. But you got to just keep shaking it. The more vigorous that you do it, the quicker it's going to be. Like whipped cream. I don't. No, you want to shake this for me? You want to shake this for me? Yeah.
Why?
Do you want to shake it?
Yeah.
Don't drop it.
Why?
Because it's glass.
It's too heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Shake it like that.
But just
Back and forth. There you go. Don't drop it.
show your dad.
You done?
Yeah.
That didn't last long. Make you tired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go back.
Okay. Maybe the 4-year-old isn't cut out for it. Check it now. You can see it. How thick that is. You see how thick that is now. Getting really, really close. Looking for. See how it's starting to separate? You can see in there. It's starting to get a little more liquidy. The more you shake it, the more it's going to start separating, and it's going to start making a big blob in there. You just got to keep shaking it. What you're looking to do is get all that stuff smashed to the edge of the container, whatever you're using. Try to get it to hit really hard. I don't know if you can see it in there, but you notice there's liquid in there now, and in the middle there's butter. You can start to hear it become more liquidy, and you'll do that for a little bit until you can try to get all of the excess out. And you're going to keep shaking it, and shaking it, and shaking it, and until you get about, I'd say, maybe a third of what you started with out. It's going to become liquid. Just keep rolling it around in there. You can see the butter in the middle. So when you feel like you have about a third of what you started with as liquid now, you got most of the liquid out. You're just going to shake it a little bit more just to really compact everything, push it together. The next thing you're going to want to do is get a larger container out or use the sink. I typically use a cheesecloth, but I can't find a clean one, so I'm just using a hand towel. Make sure it's clean. And just try to get your lump out of there. You see, got mostly butter now, and a cheesecloth works better. You can roll it up tighter, but what you're going to do is just ball that up, and you're going to give it a couple spins, and you're going to try to compress it off to get the last little bit of milk out of there. Next step is to rinse it off. Get some cold water going. A lot of people use ice water. Just get some nice cold water, like really cold, and just rinse it off. Get all that milk off of there that you can, and it also helps firm up the butter. You're almost done at that stage. So the next thing you want to do is just get a little container. And just scrape your butter off of your cloth. Set it in there. Get as much of that as you can off, because that was a lot of work. You know, the one good thing about making your own butter is you don't feel so bad about eating it because of how much, not really a whole lot of work. It's pretty simple. Your arms get tired a little bit. Get most of that off of there. And then once you get that, get the water. You just want to wash it off. As you can see, squeezing it, you'll get a little bit more milk out of it. You'll know the difference between the milk or the whey, because it's white, opposed to the water. Make sure it stays under the water pretty consistently to keep it nice and firm. Otherwise, you working it's going to be like clay, and it's just going to start falling apart. And once all that's all washed off, you set it in there. And here's the part where you would add your herbs or salt or anything like that. I typically add just a little, maybe a teaspoon or so of salt. Not much. Not much at all. It doesn't take much. Work it in. Once that's all worked in there, make sure all the water is out of that. And then put it in your container. And you can add garlic in here, or if you want sweet butter or anything like that. I use this for baking and cooking and, you know, for dinners and such. So I don't really put a whole lot of herbs in there because I never know what I'm going to be using it for. But once you have that, this is actually a sandwich container, but it works great for this. Just kind of flatten it out. And when it gets hard, you can pop it out of there and cut your bricks, or just use it as is, as a container. Put the lid on it, and you have about a pound of butter from a quart of heavy cream. And then plus you have this to make your waffles or your pancakes, and then you have a little mess to clean up. So there's my video of how I make butter. It's pretty easy to do. Anybody can do it. If you want a smaller one, just use a smaller jar, or if you feel like you can shake something bigger, get a bigger jar. The gallon container is enough for me to shake for about 10-15 minutes. But if you just want to use small batches, use something smaller. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And I will talk to y'all next time.